Good morning. Welcome to the On God Podcast, episode 3. As always, man, let's start off with a prayer right quick and we're going to get into it. Father, I come to you as humble as I know how, eyes closed, head bowed. I ask that you would grant me the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding to speak your word today, Father, to touch the people that you need me to touch. I ask that you make my tongue a weapon of your word and your will be done through everything I say today. I know it's not always easy for us to go blindly into your word and walk with faith. But I ask that we would learn how to do that, especially myself, Father, since I plan on teaching so many others. With that said, amen. Um, this morning, I'm not feeling real good. I'm not feeling bad, but I'm not feeling real good. I struggled with what to talk about today. I went to the Bible. I prayed. Um, I went to the internet, just being real. And I really couldn't come up with nothing. So I guess what I'm gonna do is I thought about talking about something last week. I just didn't know how to approach it. So I'm gonna try to talk about that today and just hope and pray that the Lord guides my words and let me deliver this message the right way. When I was younger, um, as y'all know, I used to smoke a lot of weed. And I was in an alternative school. And the way this alternative school was set up was it was at the courthouse slash jailhouse for juveniles. A lot of the people there had to go, or should I say, had to come to school from their jail cell. It's like the jail was underground. You get on the elevator, and you come up to the school or the courthouse, depending on what floor you were going to. The ground floor would have been the school. Up above that would have been the courthouse. Below that would have been the juvenile. Fortunately, I was one of the kids who was coming from the house and not the jail cell. And yeah, they did keep us in two different, like, we had like 3 different classrooms. So it would be the younger kids in one class, the older kids in one class, and then we had like a computer class. And we would have to rotate. Um, I was one of the younger kids, meaning like junior high, but I was in the older kids' classroom because when they test you, they're gonna put you where you developed it. They don't have 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th grade. It's you on this level or you on that level. And I was on that level. Um, I was impressionable back then, but I was smart for my age. More about the hood, less about school right quick. Like I say, I was an avid smoker. Um, I used to hang with the homies all day and we were smoking all the time. So being that I'm in the alternative school, they drug test. I come to school one day and I got this little cup sitting on my desk. Man, know what that mean? Say like, Mr. Nichols, you got a drug test today. I went and took the drug test, came back. I'm like, I know it's gonna be dirty, but I know the rules. They came to me and told me, like, look, you can check yourself into a rehab, get some help. If not, then we'll check you into a rehab and get you some help. If you refuse that, then we just put you out of school for good. I turn to school, you don't get suspended like 2, 3 days. So I'm like, I know my mom and them ain't got the money to send me to nobody rehab, so let's see what the school got for me. I was going to school in Little Rock, Arkansas. The school informed me that they would put me in rehab. They didn't tell me where it was gonna be at. I'm thinking, you know what I'm saying, some hospital, some down the street, or Bridgeway or some type of thing like that. Pinnacle Point, places where they send kids at when you messing up. Um, I guess they discussed it with my mama and left me out of it. So I show up to the school one day, got my bags packed because they told you pack your bags. 21-day program. You ain't coming home till it's over. I pack my bags. I show up. Let's go. There's other kids waiting. These kids are not kids that I go to school with. None of these kids are in my school. I'm looking like, damn, where y'all come from? It's probably about 8, 9 of us. We all hop on a van with a big fat Indian dude. No, the Indian dude wasn't on this van. But we all hop on this van and we ride. And we ride. And we ride. I'm gonna say 2.5, 3 hours later, they finally tell us where we going because we didn't cross state line. We didn't left Arkansas and we now in Oklahoma. And I'm like, man, they tripping. So he like, the place y'all going is called No Water, Oklahoma. And we all heard the same thing, no water. It's not no water, it's no water. Uh so we like, no water, Oklahoma. Man, what the, you know what I'm saying? Where y'all taking up? We ain't sign up with nothing like this, huh? We thinking this before the hills have eyes, but we looking around. This is what we seen. The hills have eyes around here. Where y'all taking us? So we get to a little bitty small town up north Oklahoma, man, in the northeastern corner. And we get out to this facility. It's like I remember walking through that little building. I remember the smell. When you first come in, we had people that was, I guess, taking their classes, and they were looking at us, and they like, oh, it's gonna new dudes. And they get the drug testing everybody because we sent us all in the room, you know what I'm saying? And they drug testing us, and they like, look. And I don't know why people was acting like they were scared to take drug tests or scared to fail. Bro, we all up here for failing the drug test. I remember one white boy was peeing so clear that they were like, man, this water. We need real pee. So he peed again. And they were like, bro, this is water. I guess he had drunk so much water before he got up there. I'm like, bro, why is whatever you doing, it don't matter. We up here for being addicted to drugs. I don't know what y'all drugs was. Most of these people drugs was harder than mine. Alcohol and all type of stuff. Um, First thing they told us was, after the drug test, of course, you gotta go to detox. 48 hours. So we go to this other side of the rehab. It's like a hospital. 2 people in a room. Nah, they waiting on your hand and foot. You're watching TV, you got the TV in your room, you got the remote. Only thing y'all gonna argue about is what you want to watch. You can ring a bell, they're gonna bring you some food, and it's gonna be some good food. I'm talking chocolate chip cookies, cakes, pudding, pies, you know what I'm saying, steak, out anything you want, pizza. When you in detox, they bring you anything on that menu when you want it. You want to eat 5 times a day, you're gonna eat 5 times a day. You want to eat 10 times a day, you're gonna eat 10 times a day. So that 48 hours was up. And we started going to the rehab. That's when I met the big Mexican dude they call Pappy. And with me, I was young, I was hard headed, man. And I told y'all all my life I had been fighting God. Nothing new in rehab. Only thing is in rehab, you know, you get to doing your 12 steps. And God is a big pro. He's a big, you know what I'm saying, factor in rehab. So my rehab wasn't going too good because I'm fighting God again. I don't believe in this. Hey, man, y'all just talking outside of y'all neck. This stuff ain't real. I don't believe in this imaginable, invisible person that, you know what I'm saying, everything is going to be all right if you depend on him. And Pappy came to me one day. We was at lunch. And I remember this conversation. And I got to arguing with Pappy. Not loud, we just debating, I guess. And I'm telling him, like, man, If the Bible is real, why did God make the earth and then skip right to the people? Ain't no mention of dinosaurs. I'm like, ain't no mention of the dinosaurs. Like, so I guess they not real. So I guess the dinosaur bones that they digging up every day just don't really exist. It's all something fake to get us away from God, huh? And he was like, look, I don't know about all that. I don't know half the stuff that God know. Not even a little bit. But what I do know is I know how many times I'd have been knocked down and how many times I didn't get back up, and I know I ain't get back up by myself. He said, look, bro, we in rehab. These drugs that we own, this alcohol that we've been addicted to, this ain't stuff you can walk away from by yourself. You need help. That's why you're here. If you didn't need the help, you'd still be where you was at, having fun, having kicking with your homeboys and your family and your friends. You wouldn't be here with me. You're here with me because you need help. And he was like, this is the thing about God. God can be whatever you want God to be. Not saying this is what he said, but bro, God can be the bottle top if you want him to be. He can be this here if you want him to be. But what I'm saying is, God real. He in everything and he's everywhere. Whenever you need him, call on him. Who have you been calling on? Have they been coming through for you? Why are you here with us? Because all the people you've ever called on in your life, ain't none of them here. You need help right now. Ain't none of them people here. And I tell you what, I'm here, but I'm only here because God want me to be here. God want me to help you. And he went on and he was telling me most stuff. He was like, look, you don't have to look at God as being some person sitting up in the sky waiting on you to die so you can finally meet him. I'm like, bro, he started changing God from being a person to just a higher power. And he was like, look, man, in this earth, the grass is growing, the sun is shining, the wheels are turning, the people breathing. That's what God do. You wake up every day, you don't think about how you woke up. You don't even know how you did it. You could think all day and you would never realize or figure out how you woke up. That's God doing. That's what he do. You know about chlorophyll and all that stuff, but you don't know how the grass grow. You don't know who made the chlorophyll. That's what God do. We think on one level, God think 2 million levels above us. And certain things you don't have to worry about because you ain't strong enough to even think about it. That's what God do. And he just kept breaking it down to me about the higher power when I started realizing, I'm like, you know what? Maybe life would be easier if I had somebody that I could lean on, somebody I could count on, somebody I could put these problems on, somebody I could blame for the good and the bad. It ain't me. It ain't you. Even though we have a choice. So when you're doing that good and that bad, that's still God because he gave you that choice. I was telling people on one of my other things the other day, and it's just, let me see something. They was talking about the devil, and they were like, the devil also give you a choice. They were saying that the devil ain't gonna come to you and tell you, hey, put this chain on. Let me chain you to these sins. Let me chain you to these hard times. Let me chain you to all this stuff that's gonna wreck your life and mess you up. The devil not gonna come to you and be like, hey, put this chain on. But what he will do is come to you a little bit at a time and give you these little choices. Like, hey, do you want to try these drugs today? Hey, You want to abuse these women today? You want to go have some fun? You want to do this? And you, little by little, start making these bad choices, building your own chain until you tied down or weighed down, or you so used to doing wrong, the doing right just don't seem like it can happen no more. Your chain get longer and longer, heavier and heavier, harder and harder to get out of, to untie, to unknot, and that's what the devil do. The devil will work on you and work on you and work on you until you don't even realize or recognize yourself no more. But the good thing about it is God will work on you and work on you and work on you and work on you until you don't realize or recognize yourself no more. You gotta let him. They both give you them same choices. And Pappy helped me understand that day. He was like, man, I didn't have the major breakthrough that I eventually had, but I had my eyes open to a point where I was open to it, to where I began to love and fear God at the same time. Because there was a point in time where I didn't fear him. I would cuss him just to, you know what I'm saying, see somebody else's face. I would cuss God. And they'd be like, man, I can't. I'd be like, man, you really scared, bro? What is you scared of? Who is you scared of? Ain't nobody but me. Oh, you think God really? I was that type of dude. I had let the devil put his chains on me through the form of me being child abused and beat up by my mama husband, neglected by her first husband, ignored, picked on, lied on, mistreated. I can't say that we grew up just poor, cause we didn't. But my mama was country, so she didn't understand the value of buying Jordans and designer and all this stuff. She was practical. So she seen I'm out here working, my husband out here working, let's pay these bills. Like, let's make sure these kids got some food in their stomach. Let's make sure the lights on, the water on, the gas on. I don't remember going without lights, water, and gas and stuff like that when I was a child. I remember going without Jordans. I remember going without Tommy Hilfiger and Guess and Polo and that type of stuff when I was young. Don't remember going without lights, water, and gas. Don't remember going to the refrigerator and there was just no food in there, going to the cabinet and there was nothing to eat. You know what I'm saying? And as an adult, I'm truly thankful for that. I learned to go get my own Jordan, my own Polo, my own Hilfiger and Guess and that type of stuff. But I also learned to handle my responsibilities first. So I'm thankful that God gave me the type of mother that was like that. Um, Being in that rehab, I can't remember everything I learned, but I do remember learning to accept the fact that there was a higher power, something greater than myself, that was making the wheels turn in this world. We can't do it by ourselves. That's too much pressure for one person or every human being in this world. We are here right now. We can't make it work. We can't get along. We can't agree on stuff. It's like it ain't us. If everybody turned to God right now, then this world will run a lot smoother. But if that was the point, then God would have made it where we didn't have a choice. Struggle breeds character. And some people are blessed that when they're young and their mama take them to church, they get into it. And they tell them about God and they into it. And then a lot of us had to find out the hard way. We had to really get out here and find out the hard way. We have to go through stuff. We have to lose people. We have to lose things. We have to cry. We have to get to a point where we don't know which way is up and who to turn to. And in that point, God and the devil is gonna come into your life and present you with a choice. They gonna reach their hand out, and it's all up to you who hand you gonna grab. But I'm gonna tell you like this: the easiest way, the best way, is to reach for God's hand before you get to that point. That hand always out. The devil hand always out. But don't get to a point where you need that hand. Get to a point where you want that hand. You know what I'm saying? Get to a point where you want that hand. Realize the things that God do for you every day on a daily basis. The big things, the small things. Because there's so many points I can look back in my life and be like, you know what? God did that. I could have lost my life so many times. I could have been hurt bad so many times. Just think about it. I grew up fighting a grown man. I could have been hurt bad so many times. This man was a boxer. He stopped fist fighting me at around 14 years old. So you just think before 14 years old. Plenty of y'all have seen prison pictures of me at how small I was when I first got to prison. I was 147 pounds. I couldn't imagine being 147 pounds right now. But that's how much I weighed when I got to prison. That's how much I weighed in the army. So I can just imagine how small I was. I could have been hurt bad. But like everything else, that right there made me stronger. God brought me through that. The devil put me through it. God brought me through it. So I guess what I'm trying to tell y'all is, man, God don't give up on you. That point being, he came for me so many times. He reached out that hand for me so many times. And I pushed the hand away or I didn't reach back or anything. But at 40 some years old, God still reached his hand out to me. In my darkest times, I'm talking about literally the darkest time, sitting on the side of a mountain in an 18 wheeler that was crushed up and covered in burning, well, not burning, but covered in diesel fuel. I was saturated and soaked in it. Scared out of my mind. Couldn't see nothing. This is the darkest I've seen ever in my life. Bones broke, I'm bleeding, I'm spitting teeth out of my mouth. And I felt like somebody was there with me. I should have been so scared out of my mind. I wasn't. I was calm. I felt like someone was there with me. It didn't take much longer after that and other blessings. And I told y'all about the stuff that came my way. And I started realizing, you know what? I quit. I give up. Devil be gone. I know who was with me. I know who brought me through this. I know who was sitting here moving these mountains out of my way. I could have lost my life, my faith, uh, everything, my home, my vehicle, everything could have been gone that day. I hate to think about where my mind would have been if I would have survived that wreck and came home and lost my house and lost my car and lost everything else. But you know what? If I did lose all that, it would have been behind me smoking. The same thing God was trying to get me away from when I was a teenager. It did rehab. And I would have came to a point in life that, hey, I can't be mad. God tried to take that away from me before. And again since then. And again some more times since then. And I wasn't ready. I wasn't willing. It's time to get to a point where we're ready and willing, man, to accept God and let go of the things that the devil bring us, these pacifiers, things that we use to calm ourselves and to relax ourselves instead of God, whether it be drugs or alcohol or women or jewelry or clothes or whatever it is that we use to make ourselves feel good about ourselves when all we really need is God. Hit your knees and pray. Thank Him for what you have. The blessings come from Him. So why would you try to take a shortcut and get it from anywhere else? Trust me, I know. For the people who been with me all this time since I started doing YouTube, I know y'all see a difference in me. I see a difference in myself. This ain't the person I started out with. I might favor him. I might look like that dude a little bit, but I'm not that dude. To me, I see the difference in how I look. I see the difference in how I feel, how I think, how I speak, and I hope that not only do y'all see it too, but I hope it'll motivate y'all to become the best version of yourself, the godly version of yourself. With that being said, lean on God. You know what I'm saying? Lean on God. Wait on God. Depend on God. On God.